I'm trying to even think what that bloody was. Just sounded like a little mouse running around.
That's the whole mystery.
Oh, is it?
That's the mystery, and the mystery sound.
The mystery sound. Trans-American.
Yes.
How that's changed.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes. So, yeah.
Just going out for a fag.
Yeah.
Joey, you ever hang around a gymnasium?
So on that note...
It's time to adjust those shoulder pads, backcomb what's left of your hair, and jump into the DeLorean for a look back at what's possibly the best decade anyone could ever have grown up in.
Shall we play a game?
This is Bring Back the 80s with your hosts James Alderson and me, Andy Jackson.
Hello.
Welcome to another edition of the Bring Back the 80s podcast.
I'm like two lost people.
Oh, hello, everybody out there. Yes, hello. Look at me. Summary today.
You got your legs out.
Summary to get my legs out and everything.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you never know, do you? By the time this has come out, it might be
snowing.
Might be the way the weather is now. Anyway, welcome along to another edition of the Bring Back the 80s podcast. We're on a roll of movies.
We are, because there were a lot of them, weren't there?
Yeah, huge. And you're looking back over it, you just realise how many classic movies there were.
That kids
from the
and
80s.
people just watch. Christmas, you don't get much of the new stuff. It's always things like the Goonies or... Not the Goonies. Goonies. Goonies or, Indiana Jones and Superman and all these things. So, yeah, absolute classics back in the 80s.
I think we like the same old. And like you say, Christmas especially, which we're getting closer and closer to.
We are.
By the way, now we've passed that halfway point.
We're in July now.
So we're going to get all the Christmas movies coming round, Home Alone, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we did a couple of series of action movies.
Yeah.
So today we're going more onto a comedy kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, comedies, there were so many of them, early 80s, right through to late 80s, of legendary actors.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I mean, as we've touched on before, a lot of films had comedy in them anyway, even if they're action or romance, whatever they were. But I think that the actual hardcore comedy films were brilliant. And that's, by the way, why I've got the football T-shirt on. Mexico 86, my first ever sticker album I did. I was about 11, 12 years old. Brilliant. And obviously watching the football at the moment, it's hilarious.
Yes. Are we still in? By the time this goes out, are we still in? Or?
I don't actually. By the time this goes out, Euros are over anyway.
We don't know. Oh, right. Okay. All right.
So no.
We're not in.
But I remember the sticker albums and back in the 80s was the first time, Italia 90, Mexico 86, brilliant. And I've bought the sticker album for the England one this time, and I've decided to keep doing it all the time they're in.
For about a week.
So I've only put 4 stickers in.
It still amazes me, and I never quite understood how you could happily pay lots of money for what is effectively just a bit of sticky paper.
Well, it's the crazy thing I remember doing is, and yes, you're right, it were expensive, but you used to have to phone up or send off for the final few that you needed. Put a bit of paper in written down the numbers that you needed with a check in. I probably maybe even cash. I don't know. Postal order. Post some off and get your 12 final stickers that the bastards never printed, and that's why you could never get them from anyone. Oh, I've got a shiny, and then you get them posted back, and then you could complete it. I've got a few sticker albums back at home that I'll bring with us for the kids movies episodes that we're doing, and it really was. I think the 80s was a real explosion of sticker albums. But yeah, anyway, that's why I've got Mexico 86, because we're doing comedies for this next. And
we have to remember as well with the sticker albums, because there was literally nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Apart from ride your bike, and play knock knock and run away from the door. Yeah. That was all there was to do.
That's right. And then you cycled to someone to show them what you've got and what you needed. got need swap whatever. So yeah.
Because that would just be on Facebook now. Well, the cool kids obviously don't use Facebook, Instagram, or there's probably another one we've never even heard of.
Yeah, probably.
To be honest, but that's how they're doing that. There's no physical anything at the moment. I wonder if that'll come back though.
What?
I wonder if that will come back.
What?
Because because cassettes have come back, vinyls come back.
Yeah.
I wonder if printing out photos will become a thing.
I don't know. It does make me wonder, because I've got all our family photos from when my kids were born to now on CD and hard drive and backed up on the Google thingamajiggers, and obviously print out little sheets of all the little thumbnails. I don't think they're ever going to look at them.
Nobody's going to look
I was like, why am I doing this? For future generations to go, what is that circular shiny thing? As like I said, CD. I don't know if ever. I don't know.
It is weird, isn't it? Because I've got a big box full of negatives.
Yeah.
And like, what? It's like, what would you do with a negative now?
Well, in about 40 years, someone's going to get them out and go, I don't know what these are. What's this? Hold them up and have a look. What's rubbish quality?
Oh, everything's
That's not
terrible,
good,
yeah.
I contacted someone because we found loads of our wedding ones from 2001 and said, how much to print? How much to do prints of all these? And he said 460 quid. I said, fuck it. The marriage isn't worth that. So we're just going to keep them until they probably rot away.
Yeah, because the thing is with wedding photos as well, because you put the word wedding before anything. Wedding flowers, wedding photos, wedding food, whatever, just multiplied by 10 every single time.
Which brings us neatly back to comedy, of course.
Indeed so.
Weddings and marriages.
Several attempts, but we get there in the end. Several attempts, we get there in. Just before we do our first clip, just want to do the reveal of last time's mystery sound.
Please
if you remember, we give you a little thing.
It's the mystery sound of the 80s. It's the mystery sound of the 80s.
Best ever TV logo, I reckon.
It's a lovely little smooth way of coming in there, isn't it?
Isn't it? The way it
Dribbles
just comes in, yeah.
It's like Castrol GTX almost, wasn't it? The way it just dripped in and dropped down, and and obviously red, white, and blue, of course.
Of course, British.
We're British. Don't forget that when you're watching this show, please.
London Weekend Television, which is a weird, if you think about it, like with all the the TV channels you got now, they're all on 24 hours a day. They're all on 7 days a week.
Yeah.
London Weekend Television came on Friday night.
Yeah.
Finished on Sunday night.
Well, you don't want to work a whole week. Yeah.
It was all the really big shows came out of London Weekend Television, didn't they? Or most of them.
And they had their own bloody orchestra, by the sound of that.
Everything was orchestral in those days, wasn't it?
Well,
everything was. Yeah. So well done to this week's winner, who is Matt Rogan from Waterlooville.
Good old Matt Rogan.
Matt Rogan, you've got a Bring Back the 80s t-shirts.
Great.
Which I'm going to do. Now, every time I try to muddle this, I could do this bit, all right, and sort of hold it up, and then you
don't
always
know what's on it.
You always slag me off for not folding it properly.
Oh yeah. Well, you've never worked in retail, clearly. A clothing shop. You've always been on the radio, Mr. Famous. So yes. Look at that. It's totally gone. You can't actually see any part of it. Look at that. Bloody pointless. Great advert there. So it's a black T-shirt, nothing on it. And you've won it. Well done, Matt Rogan.
Well done. Or tickets to one of James's comedy clubs.
Let us know. Let us know. We've got shows throughout the summer, Matt. So if ever you want to come and have a beer, Matt, what? Okay. Then if you want to go and have a beer and a laugh with us, Matt, then let us know what you want.
Speaking of T-shirts as well, one of our old episodes, you were wearing a test card T-shirt as well. We had comments on that, because we get comments on stuff that we done like months and months and months ago, just randomly pop up, and somebody said, James, lovely T-shirt, where from? And I messaged you to say where from. You said fuck no.
Fuck knows, Google it. Google test card T-shirt. It's the wonder of technology. You're asking a bloke who bought a T-shirt more than a week ago. I don't know where it was. Who knows? Most of this stuff is found at the back arse end of Google. Just Google 80s T-shirts and these sorts of rubbish things come up, and then someone in 2 years' time says, where's that from? And I go, I know. I haven't got a clue. Get a plain white tee. It's the best answer.
It's always easy when it's there. Yeah. So if you notice, I'm only ever black or white on this. Then you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
And no one asks you where you got it from.
Being the laziest person in the world, my choices are: is it sunny? Yes. White. Is it overcast? No. Black.
Mate, it's
that's
a
all I've got to do,
icon.
isn't it? Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Right, new mystery sound for you this week. Now, because the other ones, I think we've done a couple of TV ones which have been relatively easy.
Yes.
Relatively easy.
Yes.
This one is going to be absolutely impossible for anybody to guess.
It's too hot for this.
Too hot. But there might be just one geek who will know the answer.
Okay.
Here we go.
I could barely hear that.
I told you it was tricky. See, what I think we're going to do with this one, I think this is going to keep on and on and on and on and on, and we're just going to do it every single week till somebody gets it.
I'm trying to even think what that bloody was. It just sounded like a little mouse running around.
That's the whole mystery.
Oh, is it?
That's the mystery and the mystery sound.
The mystery sound. I understand the words now. Yes.
But yeah, that is it. So if you want to let us know in the comments what that was, the only clue I'm going to give is that if you are a geek, you might know.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
So there we go.
I'm going to have to listen to this back myself.
Yeah, you could always rewind. We might turn it into a little clip of its own as well, but always rewind and go back a bit, and that will help us go up YouTube.
I might have an idea of it actually now.
Do you?
But it wasn't. Could there have been more to that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
I think that was a short part of what could have been. Am I right?
It's kind of like the beginning of the thing.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
I think I do know.
Okay.
I think
we'll see.
know.
We'll see, but we'll wait and see. So that's it. Let us know in the comments or by any of the social media channels what you think it is. Let us know who you are, where you are, and if you come up lucky when we do the draw, we will let you know. You got tickets to a comedy show or a fabulous Bring Back the 80s t-shirt that you can't see.
That has logos.
On. But there we go. That's me never having had a proper job in my life. Right then, we're doing clips. It's about time. We had our first clip, isn't it, James?
Yes, please.
This is a classic movie.
Yeah.
Have a little butchers at this.
I see you look at this piece.
Yeah, I was wondering how much something like this went for.
$130,000. Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot. It's serious because it's very important piece.
Have you ever sold one of these?
Sold it yesterday to a collector. Get the fuck out of here! Serious, I said it myself.
That is my favourite clip from that movie. Favourite.
No doubt ad-libbed, which a lot of these comedy reactions were. And he's been in a few things since, that actor, but it's just the way he just quickly just replies to Eddie Murphy's reaction in a perfect way, in a very cliched French way, with all the hand gestures and all the slightly camp. Oh, just magic. I mean, that was... I don't know, there was something about Beverly Hills Cop that was felt quite gritty compared to some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Because of the contrast between Eddie Murphy, Axel Foley, and the pristine sort of cops that we're used to seeing in all these cop shows. And he was obviously wasn't, but he was sort of streetwise, wasn't he? And cool and putting bananas up exhaust pipes.
And the music from that as well.
Yes.
Absolutely classic. I've just realised as well that we started a thing last time round where I gave you the one-liner description of that as a quiz.
Yeah.
And obviously we know what the answer is, so we're doing it arse about face.
Was it Beverly Hills Cop?
It could well be Beverly Hills Cop. I'm just going to just for the little clips, I'm going to give you the one line that describes this, and we'll put this on one of our little TikTok things.
Yeah.
So it's a freewheeling Detroit cop pursuing a murder investigation finds himself dealing with the very different culture of Beverly Hills. Yeah, well, that's going to be easy to guess as well, isn't it?
I'm trying to think.
What could that be?
Trying to think. Was it Tango and Cash?
It could have been.
What I loved is, again, very few people got hurt in that film.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful era, wasn't it?
It was just kind of slapsticky with, like you say, bananas up exhausts and things like that.
And sort of pushing people into walls and they go, oh, and fall over, when you're fighting them. None of this Jason Bourne-esque style. You're getting every bone in your body broken. Yeah. You get slammed into you could hide behind a car door and the machine gun bullets don't hit you. Right. All through the glass. The glass smashes, but if you do run like this, hiding your face, you don't get hit. Crouch down slightly with your hand up. No, nothing's hit me. Yeah, very few people died in that.
I was going to say, what I did realise as well was that there was a spate in the 80s where Eddie Murphy was in every single film that was released.
Yeah.
I've forgotten just how many films that he was in.
Yeah, he's worth hundreds of millions now. And as most of the actors became sort of producers or directors of their own stuff, so certainly the later Beverly Hills Cop films he was producing as well, and or directing. And just in everything, really, right through to Dr. Dolittle and nonsense from the 90s.
What was the one where he had the fat suit on as well? Was that?
Oh my goodness! People are shouting now at this.
What was that one?
Norbert,
something like that.
Yeah. Wasn't he? It was called something like that. I'm trying to remember, but yes. Yeah, he likes being every character as well, doesn't he?
Yes.
Loves doing
Which is a really clever thing to do. And at the time, I think that even just escaped me because I was probably off my tits on drugs or something at the time. But he probably, he was playing multiple characters.
Yeah. Yeah, such a talent.
Films. Yeah,
and obviously early 80s with Raw and all the stand-up that he did in his nice red leather. He just epic comedian, full stop, stand-up.
Yeah.
One of the first to transition really properly into being such a big A-lister. Him and Richard Pryor, really.
Yes.
Are two big ones from stand-up straight into huge multi-million-dollar actors. We seem to... Can you hear that?
I don't know if that's coming out. There is a dog barking outside.
There's a dog somewhere, so bless him. That is not a mystery sound.
It could have been, couldn't it?
We get a few people messaging in. Is it a Dachshund?
So anyway, I was just saying that Eddie Murphy seemed to be in everything. I did find a couple of movies that did not have him in there, so I'm going to give you the one-line descriptor of this, which is, see if you can guess this movie, if you can. After the crew becomes sick with food poisoning, a neurotic ex-fighter pilot must safely land a commercial airplane full of passengers.
Have you said the answer in the words then?
I might have said if you could think of the title, the word might have been in there, but the exclamation mark might not have been.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So is it airplane?
Let's have a look and see. All we can do is wait and see. Airplane with a exclamation mark.
Flight 209er, this is Denver Flight Control. You're approaching some rough weather. Please climb to 42,000 feet.
Roger, Denver.
We have a visitor.
Hello.
Hi.
This is Captain Over, Mr. Murdoch, and Mr. Basta. This is Joey Hammond.
Oh, hi, Joey. Come on up here. You can see better.
Joey, we have something here for our special visitors. Would you like to have it?
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Sure. You ever been in a cockpit before?
No, sir, I've never been up in a plane before.
You ever seen a grown man naked? Joey, did you ever hang around the gymnasium? Joey, do you like movies about gladiators?
Oh my God.
It's just so inappropriate. It's just brilliant.
Just out of nowhere. I hate to say it, I think that's my favourite clip from the movie. I really do.
It's just every part of it. Wasn't that the one where they walk through the X-ray machine and everyone's naked?
Yes.
It's just, as a kid, just watching it was just so out there.
Yeah.
Just so totally bizarre and surreal in many areas of it. Some were just pathetically stupid, but still made you laugh. But other things are just so surreal like that. You just think, what?
There was a running gag that ran through through the entire film as well, which I only just discovered.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Wasn't it the Shirley? Was that a different film?
It's just something that until somebody tells you and points it out, you don't realise.
Go on.
But it's a jet plane. Sound effects is a propeller plane.
Oh, I see.
So they've got, it's like
of course,
totally inappropriate sound. But I literally only found that out yesterday. How weird is that?
Yeah. Actually, now you mention it. Yeah, this is clearly
yes, clearly a propeller plane. Yeah,
Trans-American.
Yes,
how that's changed.
Oh my God, yes.
So yeah,
just going out for a fag.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and the autopilot. Inflates.
Yes,
isn't that the one?
That's the one. Yes.
Yeah, because there were a few very similar sorts of films like that, weren't there? I mean, that was obviously the classic, but there were a lot of silly films around that time.
But that was the best of the best.
Yeah, and that was didn't they have an airplane too? I think they, or certainly very similar ones, but with a similar cast and similar sort of comedy writing. But that was the epitome of it, really.
Right at the beginning of the decade as well, coming out in 1980.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop, by the way, guess the year.
Oh, blimey. I'll say 86.
Oh, you nearly said 84, didn't you?
I was thinking 84, 85, 86. How old was I? That's what I started thinking. Was it 84?
It was 84.
Wow,
yeah,
that is early on. But I suppose they did squeeze in quite a few of them, didn't they?
Yes.
Did they manage 3 in the end?
I think so.
I think they got a 4th one's out on Netflix now.
I love it when they showed it on BBC One, though, and they just edited the hell out of it.
None of the film makes bloody sense. You watch it and think, hang about, what? How's he got shot?
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah. Come on, my homeboy.
Although Homeboy's probably worse now than...
Oh, they wouldn't put it now.
Homeboy now, would they?
No, but that's what
Can't do anything.
The 9 o'clock edit would have been.
Yeah. But anyway, so Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop 84, Airplane, right at the beginning of the decade at 1980.
Witty.
I would actually want to watch that again now off the back of seeing that clip. In fact, both of them I'm quite happy to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Airplane has got jokes at rapid fire. You know, every 30 seconds there's something, whether it's in the background or foreground or in the script. There's always something happening. Like Hot Shots Part 2 and all those sorts of ones, Naked Gun. They're all got that same sort of silly, daft spoof almost approach to it. The Spy Hard, I watched that the other day. Just ridiculous.
We'll have to have an 80s movie fest, won't we? We'll have to do an 80s movies fest.
Well, maybe when we do our live podcast, we'll do an hour's show and then we'll
show a movie.
Well, maybe just do 48 hours of movies. Another 48 hours. There we go. But yeah, we'll just all sit there
and watch movies.
Have a little sleeps.
Yeah, and we'll be out in the reception. The foyer. The foyer, that's popcorn. The one. With popcorn out there doing all that kind of stuff. That could be another proper job for me to do.
There we
go. Serving up the popcorn.
Yeah.
Right, we've got time for just one more clip as well.
Right, okay.
Just before we do that, I would just like to ask, as I always do, if you're enjoying this podcast. I know we've had loads of new listeners off the back of the radio shows and things that I've done, loads of new watchers and that. If you like it, please just share it with one other person. Just send them the link. If it's easy, just send them bringbackth80spodcast.com or send them the little YouTube link as well. Because chances are, if you like it, somebody you know is going to like it as well.
Old schoolmate.
Yeah.
Another half. Maybe a teacher.
Yes. Yes. Because we all stayed in touch with our teachers, didn't we?
Of course we did. But but also, you know, everyone's got a sense of humour. This particular episode, talking about old comedies from the 80s, old comedy films, you know, there were so many of them. It was just such a great laugh. There was always something. Every week there seems to be a big comedy film out at the cinema. And, great laugh, but not so much. I don't think there's so much these days, comedy films.
I think it's more because there's so much more stand-up on TV and you get the Netflix specials and things like that. Maybe they don't need to make the comedy movies. Maybe the people who want comedy just go for stand-up now.
Maybe.
Which is good for your career.
I suppose it is, but I wouldn't mind going. When's the last time you went to the cinema for a laugh? You know, when's the last comedy film?
Can't think of one.
Certainly not of this sort of ilk that we've showed today. You know, as I say, like Naked Gun, these were big selling films, you know. Even things like I don't know what it would be, but Uncle Buck or Cool Runnings. You know, I think that might have been actually into the 90s, but there were huge sellout cinema films. You go in there and they were packed out, and you are
absolutely right. It is all either romance or action.
CGI. Let's get computer generated science alien attack stuff. Please, no. I want some laughter.
There is no CGI in this next clip, final one from this episode. When the mayor of a crime-ridden city loosens the criteria on entering the police academy, or if I give it away, different kinds of people try their luck to join the police force. Most of them, however, are misfits. I guarantee we're going to get people guessing in the comments what film this is.
They're bound to. You see, as a kid, I couldn't watch this enough. I mean, it was just, what an iconic film.
Yeah.
And the series, I mean, even number 2 and number 3 were funny. Number 2 was very good. They ended up doing 4, 5, 6, 7, God knows.
Get every ounce of dollar out of it.
Yeah, but and then they'd change some of the lineups and they'd bring in new recruits. But those first few, oh my God, as a kid, I was wetting myself with laughter. Police Academy, of course.
Of course, it's Police Academy. This is maybe not the obvious clip from it, but I think it's funny nevertheless.
To defend yourselves without stick or firearm. I need a volunteer. Barbara, get out here.
I just ate.
Right where I'm standing, right here, right now. All right, now. Come at me with an imaginary knife.
Do I have to?
Yes, you do. I'm not joking. Come on. Come on. No! Ouch! Okay. That's how it's done. Who's next?
That's me!
I'd love to go. We'll both go. I'll learn.
Again, totally inappropriate.
How young they all look.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody's PE instructor looked like that.
Absolutely, yes.
She was the inappropriate sort of the big busted actress that every film of the 80s had.
You had to.
You have to have one, and ideally blonde. Because obviously they're more fun. But it's I mean, there was every different character that you can imagine was in that. You know, you had the quirky one, you had the one who was into science, you know, science and technology, the one who did impressions, the one who was like mental, a huge guy, but muscly guy. They had everybody.
Only the one fat guy in there as well, though. Because it was the 80s.
There was only ever one fat
guy in your class or
friend group.
Yeah.
Or police academy.
Yeah.
Moses Hightower, obviousthe huge dude, massive dude that we just go and lift a car or something. The humour was obviously, I mean, some of it totally inappropriate, but it was just iconic, just hilarious, and the writing just so clever. Not a scene in there that we didn't have you fits of laughter.
The more inappropriate, the better, is what I always say. Back in the days when we were allowed to laugh at things that were and still genuinely are funny.
Well, I think a lot of it was laughing at yourself or seeing yourself in what they're laughing at. I think some things maybe, some of the cliches and stereotypes we could do without. But I think
nobody was offended, James. Nobody was offended.
I don't know. Should we ask? Let's ask around. I think. I mean, I wasn't offended at watching that scene.
If you have been offended by any of the issues in today's episode,
what should they do?
They'd send in a self-stamped addressed envelope, and we'll send you back an information pack.
I don't know what we'll send you. We'll send you a T-shirt. Thank you.
Don't forget your postal order.
Oh no, I think you can't. I mean, some of the humour definitely in the 80s was well wide of the mark. You're watching some of the stand-up, for example, and you think, oh my god, you just can't watch it. You can't. It's not right. But I think that some of the films, hopefully, you can still watch and look at the way it's intended, and it's not meant to upset people. And they still put a lot of this stuff on the TV now, so I think that demonstrates that it's actually not as bad as maybe some people make out. You've got to laugh at yourself, haven't you, in life?
Indeed.
And God knows those films have got something for everybody to laugh at. Crikey.
Not as bad as some people make out is a useful epitaph for this podcast as well. So on that note, we'll say thank you for watching and thank you for listening. We'll be back in a week's time with part 2.
Yeah.
And we managed to find even more movies without what's his face, Eddie Murphy in it.
Have you?
I've managed to. I think there might be one, but we'll wait and see next time. But until then, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Do share this with somebody else you know. We will see you next Tuesday.
Thanks for listening to this week's edition. We'd love it if you could subscribe in your favourite podcast app, and don't forget there's a video version on YouTube too. You can contact us using the links in the show notes and on the YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time for another edition of Bring Back the 80s.